and welcome to another Van Chat Tuesday. Over.
Yes, in this episode we're talking about how to communicate with other people that you might be on a little bit of a convoy with.
Yes, convoy.
But yeah, we've been asked by a lot of people over the years and that, like, when you go out with other people, how do you communicate and what do you use? And you came up with an idea recently as well for an app, and then we found out someone's already got an app for it.
Almost right for what I want. Mine was obviously way better.
Obviously.
But it's a really good app.
It is, yeah. So we're going to go through what are your options to communicate with other people, set your route, you know, find out where people are, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So option one is obviously WhatsApp, Messenger, text message, phone calls, whatever.
Yeah, use your phone as it's intended.
Yep.
Obviously not if you're driving.
No, our kind of like situation's quite helpful because we've got a driver.
And a passenger. Which is normally that way around too.
It probably is normally this way around as well, yeah. So it does mean that the passenger can keep up to whatever's going on with everyone else. But I guess at the outset, create a little group, text group or WhatsApp group or whatever, with all your convoy people in there. And then you can do Google drop pin, or you can do what 3 words of where you're going.
See, that has been one of the best things for us, especially when we were convoying in Spain and things.
Yeah.
Because you send a pin, and then someone needs to get gas, or someone needs to go to the supermarket or whatever. So instead of trying to fit however many vans in a supermarket car park or whatever, everybody knows exactly where you're going to end up.
Yeah.
So it's a just nice one-stop shop. Send the pin, and you've got a choice of travelling in convoy or
doing it separately and just getting there whenever you want.
Yep.
So we do half and half most of the time, don't we?
Yep.
And we do, like, you know, a few people we convoy with and a few other people, it's like, no, I'll meet you there. It depends where in the country or whereabouts you are all coming from.
Yeah, and some people love a drive and some people just want to get there.
Yeah.
So some people want to do motorways all the time. It's noisy birds. And then some people like to go and take the coastal routes or whatever.
Scenic
so
route.
it is nice that they're still technically in convoy, because then as you're communicating with the group, if you have to stop or anything like that, then everybody knows what's going on.
Yep. So I would say the first one is your phone. Best way to communicate, Google Maps, all that kind of stuff, to organise where you're going, maybe a little bit of how you're getting there. Look at, you know, Google Maps, see if you can fit in a car park like you've said, or where you're all going to stop and things like that, just to find the address of places as well. So yeah, first option is your phone.
And I know it's a bit of a no-brainer, but we do get asked this an awful lot, and people are saying, you know, what is the best way? And obviously with WhatsApp, you can add as many people in the group as you want, and you can video chat with 6 or 8 people at a time and stuff. So it is, I mean, just utilise what you've already got instead of having to spend money if you haven't got money, or if you'd prefer just to use what you've already got.
And the second one was an app that Mandy came up with an idea for me to write, and then I found out someone's already done exactly the same thing, quite close to.
Not as good?
Not as good, no.
Oh, okay.
And the app idea is that you are all linked together, but without knowing each other's phone numbers, because sometimes you don't want to exchange phone numbers, but you've got the idea that you can communicate with each other through the app.
You just have like an ID number that you all log into this one bit with each individual ID number, and you get to go on a journey or a convoy or whichever way.
Yeah, and you set a leader, and then once the leader's set, everyone else gets to follow the leader. Leader, follow the leader. And then you can see on the map if they got it wrong and see where the leader went, and you can all decide to follow the leader or not. So the app that I found is called Wolfpack. It's a trial app to start off with, and I think then they charge you for premium features. And it's got pretty much all that in there. You can send text messages with each other's in the group. You can get invited to a run out. It's mainly meant for bikers, motorbikers.
But it's like a one-off thing. So you all join a convoy for that one thing. Nobody has any of your details, just in case you didn't want to do any of that. And then you've got the map where you can see where you're going and where you've been, and chat sessions, and
there's quite a few things. There's waypoint sessions, sharing photos, videos. There's all sorts of information on there. Your idea went a bit further than that, didn't it? You wanted,
mine had a built-in talkie.
PTT, push to talk, talkie-walkie.
A talkie-walkie.
There you go. Then.
But it had a built-in function with that, because mobile phones have them in anyway. There are apps that do that kind of thing. And I thought having that in one bit as well, so you could literally talk to everybody that's in that group, so everybody doesn't have to have a radio or anything extra. So that John hopefully will
I'll see how I get on with
Put
that
your
one.
finger out, man.
I know, it's not like I've not got anything else to do, is
I
it?
know. You had a line this morning.
But yeah, the idea of that is it's all based around having data. So the push to talk uses 3G or 4G or whatever to use your data to connect you through the little group app so you can all have a chat with each other. You can't chat in real time. You have to send a message and then wait for the other person to stop and then blah, blah, blah. So that's all good and well, fine if you've got signal. However, if you've not got signal, and the next thing is something called a PMR radio. They are license free in the UK. All the information I'm going to give you now is based on UK licensing and things like that. And you can get some of these for like 20 quid for a pair or something like that. Again, I'll put the links to all these down in the video description, and they're also on our website as well. Very basic. On this one, you've got 8 channels. You can plug in a headset on top. So if you are not lucky enough to have a wonderful passenger, you can plug in a headset, and they usually operate on Vox, which is voice something exchange, voice over exchange or something like that.
Yeah, voice over exchange, yeah.
And basically that just means that as you start to talk with the earpiece connected to this, it understands you've talked and it keys up, so it starts to transmit. And then everyone can hear what you're saying. So obviously bear that in mind if you're a bit of a talker while you're driving.
Or, you know, if you're like, oh my God, how dare you cut me up in this roundabout? And everyone's like, oh, road rage, hello. And no, straight away.
Yeah.
But it is really good that sometimes you need to kind of cough or just do something, make a noise to activate that box,
Yeah.
and then start talking. Otherwise, you always cut off the beginning of what you're saying. But apart from getting the hang of that,
Yeah.
that is really good because you have that clipped up on the,
Yeah,
on
the
the
sun
visor,
visor
and then
with
it
the
doesn't have
headset
to
on.
touch anything at
Yeah.
all. So that is really good. And a lot of these radios have box earpieces that you can use as well, don't
pretty
they?
much all of them do. This one does, the other ones do as well. I think what you just saw there is when you key up, do give it a second before you start to speak, just for the communications and everything to sort themselves out inside. But I mean, this one's got like little bits of lights and stuff like that on there.
Is that the one with the whistle on the back? It
Oh
is.
yeah,
Emergency whistle too and everything.
sorry about that, people. Bless you.
Thank you.
You've even got a hazard button or emergency button which will transmit to everyone what's going on. So yeah, they're basic. Obviously, hello, what are you doing? I'm doing this, blah blah blah, communication.
Not got a particularly good range on them.
No, that's why I started off with this one. If you're in a box, a metal box, obviously radio frequencies are not great at coming in and out of metal boxes. It's the Faraday cage effect, if you want to go Google that. So we've experienced okay comms if you are in convoy with line of sight with these. And that can be, you know, that they've got 6 vehicles and the back vehicle's a good sort of like, you know, half a mile away, you can still be all right. But as soon as you can't see the other people, like you've gone over a mountain or you're in the forest or whatever, they're not that great.
And when we were in Scotland, we were travelling with Daz, Tash and John and Pete.
Yep.
Daz was in the middle. We'd say, Daz, can you tell Pete, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then Daz would pass
Relay
it
it
on
back.
and then relay back what Pete had said because
Yeah.
the convoy was just a little bit too stretched out.
Yeah.
So there are ways to get round it.
The next step up from that is a CB radio. With this one, you've got more channels. I would say probably 20 miles range, 20, 30 mile range, line of sight. So if you're not line of sight and there's forests and roads and everything else, you probably maybe get 3 to 5 mile range. And these are the same things. Obviously, you can plug headsets in the top there.
You can get external aerials as well, can't you, that
Yeah.
extend the range on those things.
Yeah, this one comes with obviously a battery pack. You unclip the battery pack like that. You clip in the dash kit, it's called, which plugs into the cigarette lighter to give you more power, and an external aerial. Now you can have like a magnetic aerial that you can put on the roof or something like that, or a fixed mount aerial, and that connects into that. It's a PL295 connection, which are all standard on CB antennas. So yeah, that connects that way. That gives you more power and more range, but again operates the same thing. Really cool. We've operated CB radios for quite some time, haven't we?
You're a nerd.
I am a nerd. I do like my comms.
I'm waiting for this is a P2597 connection. Sorry.
No need for that. You then get into two-way radios that are amateur radio bands, and these are actually our preferred units.
They are absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
They really, really are, because you can also set your own channel up. So you've
Yeah,
got
set your own frequency.
frequency. So you've got the option of channels, like preset channels, which are great.
Yep.
And then you can also have frequencies, because we found we were flying. I've just seen birds flying. We were not flying anywhere. We were driving around Spain, and there was some of the wind farms were having work done, so there was engineers working on them, and it seemed that they seemed to pick.
Yeah, they're using these with
so
a
they use
fixed
them.
frequency. Yeah.
And so they were talking all over us, and we couldn't understand, and it was causing interference wherever we went. So we just changed to these, and then chose our own frequency, and it was absolutely brilliant. So I like it for the flexibility.
And you can set the frequencies in this to match them. So if you're in a convoy and you've got people with mixed radios, then you can pick them up. Obviously you can't talk to anybody on a CB radio with this one, different frequencies, but you can use PMR, it's in the same frequency range. I am going to point out that you need an amateur radio license to use one of these. If you know my reg plate, then you'll know that I'm all right, thanks very much. And one thing that I have actually got on this is a tactical antenna.
Yeah, that's big.
Which, yeah, that's what she said.
She did too.
Yeah. Which me and Daz tested out in Thetford Forest, and he went out. That's when his brakes failed, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that was
18 miles.
Was it 18 miles?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. When he went for a drive.
Yeah.
We tested it through the forest.
Yeah, we tested
Walking
it through
as
the
well,
forest
didn't we?
walking. That was
Yeah.
all right. But then he went off to somewhere else, about 18 miles away, to actually get his brakes fixed or whatever. So yeah, with the tactical antenna, there's a bloody good range on that.
Yeah.
But like I say, if you use them on the PMR frequency band, which you can set, then they're UK legal. But if you don't and use them on the other frequency band, you need an amateur radio license. But the reason why I'm showing you these, you're thinking, why are you telling me about that then? Is because you can buy these in a pair or on their own for like 20 quid, and they're really good. That's the standard one with the standard antenna, which is still good. That'll still get you about 1.5 miles to 2 miles.
So that does great in a standard convoy.
Yeah, in a built up area and everything, they're still good.
Yep.
Really clear. You do get the headset and Vox and all that kind of stuff on there. And like I say, you can even set up your own channels and that if you've got an amateur radio license. But obviously you can still use it on the PMR bands. So talk to people on these with a tactical antenna and get a bit more range.
So much more range, yeah, definitely.
So that works out all right, as well as
it looks cooler as well. I know you can get other PMR radios, but I just think that these look well cool.
But if you are wondering what the last one is, then the last one is a scanner, radio scanner, which can scan pretty much all frequencies. So if some people have got a CB radio and you haven't, and some people have got a PMR and you have, you can tune in to the CB channel and relay the information.
Yes.
It's just another way. We use it because we like planes and we're a bit plane nerds, and yeah, we can go and like listen to aircraft.
Yeah, we used to go to the runway at Manchester Airport and just listen to the planes coming in and figure out what's coming in and stuff. And we've had a few ones where there's been planes that have taxied out at the wrong point, and the plane landings had to gun it and go around again and take off, and it's just.
Or the Mach loop as well.
Or the Mach loop, yeah, you can hear all the. You just have to figure. Well, they put the frequencies and stuff on the
so
website anyway, so you know exactly what to tune into.
So yeah. This was a bit of a nerd fest.
It was a bit of a nerd fest.
But I am a bit of a comms nerd. In fact, it's pretty much what I do for a living.
But one of the best things we find, I mean, this sometimes, you know, we'll be driving down the road, and then we'll go, especially when we're in like Norfolk and Suffolk and whatnot, we'll go down the road, and then there's all the pig farms, and then John will just pick up his thing and go, gammon, and then everybody starts buying and joking about that. It's not just about having...
No, it's stuff you see along the way and just passing the time.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where you think, you know, if your mates were all in the car with you, you'd be having a right joke about that thing you've just seen.
Yeah.
So it literally just brings everybody in together, and it is a nice laugh, and it really makes that time pass by really quickly.
I mean, there was about 1.5 years ago, we were on a bit of a tour around Spain and France with Greg and Lou. And we used to do Friends quiz.
Yep. So Lou would be sat there asking all the friends questions and stuff, and it's to try and get them right over the radio. So it's just a great way of passing the time for stuff like that.
And
so
obviously, you don't need phone signal.
Yeah,
so they work
that is the
everywhere.
best thing. It doesn't cost you a fortune, or doesn't cost you anything once you bought it and you've all licensed up and stuff. And then, it just helps eat those miles away if you're doing something.
Or if you're in the middle of nowhere Mandy goes out, walks Coop in the middle of a forest or something like that, and she takes the radio with her. I keep the other radio, and if she needs me, she get hold of me.
Yeah.
Or
it
if
is
we're
good for stuff
on
like
a
that.
big site somewhere, say like Stratford show or something like that. Oh, got a reminder.
My washing's done.
Washing's done. Yeah, well, if you need like a communication across site like Stratford show, we'll all have these radios on. So we can say, Mandy, where are you? You know, Daz, where are you? And we can let people in and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
works out really well.
Yeah, it is really good for things. It's good for everything. It's just a great way of keeping the chat going. And even when everyone's parked up, if it's absolutely chucking it down, you can still be having a laugh about stuff without having to phone everybody or...
Yeah, you can sort of first thing in the morning. Are you lot up yet or what? Because if no one's got any
no for us.
yeah, because if no one's got a signal somewhere, we were up in Scotland, no one had a signal.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely monsoon weather, so we were all having a chat over the radio to work out where we're going next.
Yep.
So there we go.
No. They are a very, very good bit of kit.
Very good bit of
So
kit.
this is like a Van Chat Tech
Tuesday
Tuesday.
and Nerdfest Tuesday.
Nerdfest Tuesday. If you found anything else that is really good that helps you along the
Yeah,
way,
if you got
there's
another
any
app
other
or
apps
anything.
or anything like that, just drop them in the comments below. We'd love to know. And obviously, we do know that people read the comments, so you'll be helping out everybody else as well. But yeah, just let us know. The brilliant stuff.
Have a nice convoy.
Have a nice convoy.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.
Bless now.
No, just thought we could look at each other.
Oh.
Sweetie.